Oh yeah, so there's 4 boxes, each for one for each TA, so you want to make sure that you put it in this right box. They're all circulating around, so you'll pass it. You have to remember who your TA is. Just make sure you put it in the right box. You don't have to come to the front, we'll just circulate it.
What's Zeal Burgers first name?
Tomorrow. What are something? Yeah, there's 4 boxes, one for each TA, so they'll pass them around and just make sure you put your homework in the right box.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You don't have to walk to the front, we'll just pass the boxes around, so. You don't have to walk up to the front, we'll just pass the boxes around, that's the way how the system is, so that makes it a little easier. Okay, so we'll pass them around, so, and you also have to, so this is the way the homework is going to work, is there's 4 boxes, each one has a TA name on it, so you kind of just have to wait until your TA box comes around it. Well, it's around here somewhere, it's the Arseny box.
Yeah, not here.
Arseny is here. And I think Arseny's also boxes here, right? It's back there, so it'll come around. Yeah, so, we just, so you can, we'll just pass it through. This is our allowance and stuff. Any questions about, so let's say ahead of the homework. Any questions about the homework? Was it okay?
Yeah.
Any questions? So I'll give out the answers today, and then the new homework was assigned Tuesday. It'll be due a week from today. Okay? Any questions about that? Any issues with homework? Yeah.
So I know the second 1% is just like 50 first
Right.
Will we get the first 1% back so we can come up?
Oh, good question. We'll probably get it back in a week.
Okay.
So you just like, yeah, I should have thought about that. Yeah. If you just couldn't remember or something like this. Yeah. But also you can do the answers, so it'll give a little off. Any questions about the homework? People are okay with it? It's okay? Yeah. Oh, the boxes are coming around. So So there's 3 boxes here, and then Arsene's box is back there somewhere. So I'll come right. Who's your TA? Oh, that's going to come around, it's okay. All right, any questions about the homework? So again, I put the homework 2 up here. The lecture slides I'll update every week, so today today sometime I'll update it, and I'll also do the screencast. Okay? Everyone's got, so I'll put the answers to homework 1 also. Have people looked at the screencast and all that stuff? Is it useful? Is it okay? Any questions? Okay. Let's see. What was I going to say? That's it, I think. Okay, let's get started. Okay. All right, so we can talk about how to write down a strategic form game. That's what your first homework assignment is about. Okay, the first step again was players. Second was options, and third was chaos. Okay, and what we just started doing last time is what? Yeah, how to make a prediction, right? And we have an idea, which is what? We just talked about one thing, remember? Yeah, domination. We had to talk about strong domination, right? So we're starting to do this now. Okay? And so we're starting to fill in these little question marks. How do we make a prediction in a strategic form game or table? Well, this is what we introduced last time. We say that for a given person, strategy A strongly dominates strategy B if the person's payoff from strategy A is greater than their payoff from strategy B, regardless of what everyone else does. So if my payoff from A is always better than my payoff from B, am I ever going to do B? No, right? Okay, so because it's like a sure loser. It's never good for me. Oh, I forgot to say. I'm sorry, I won't have office hours today because I have to go home and wait for the Time Warner cable guy. But I'll be around tomorrow and stuff, so just email me. All right. Strong domination. So strategy A strongly dominates strategy B. We predict that strategy B will never be played. Okay, so now let's do the Princess Bride. So we did the Princess Bride kind of like without the immunity, the 2x2 case. But the actual game is with immunity. You remember Wesley, the guy in black? Yeah. His thing was what? How did he survive? Yeah, he developed an immunity to iocane powder. Okay, so the actual game is this game, right? Wesley is not just choosing between poisoning his own cup or Vizzini's cup. He can actually what? What does he actually do? He poisons both. So does this make sense? Yeah. Wesley's choices are actually not just 2, but he can actually have 3 possible choices. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so what if Wesley poisons Wesley's cup and Vizzini chooses Wesley's cup? So what does Wesley get in this situation? 9? I'll make it a 10 just because. How about Vizzini? Negative 10? I'll make it a negative 100. We'll make negative 100 beat death. Okay, how about this? This is where Wesley poisons Wesley's cup and Vizzini chooses Vizzini's cup. So what happens to Wesley? Huh?
Are you assuming that he has immunity or not?
Yeah, he has immunity. Not really nothing, right, in some sense. But he doesn't win, so to speak. Then it's 0. Yeah, we'll put it 0, okay. How about Vizzini? 5? Do you mind if I put 10 here? Is it okay? All right. I'm just doing this so anyway. Okay, how about here? Oh, I'll put 5. If you really put 5, all right, fine. 5. Okay, how about here? I'll put 9 there too, so somebody put 9. Okay, put 9. All right, how about here? Wesley poisons Vizzini's cup. Vizzini chooses Wesley's cup. This is also 0-5, right? Okay, Wesley doesn't win anything, but Vizzini wins. This is where Wesley poisons Vizzini's cup and Vizzini chooses his own cup. 9, what is that? Okay. How about this? This is where Wesley poisons both, and Vizzini chooses Wesley's cup. Yeah, 9 negative 100. Wesley wins, then Vizzini dies. Now how about here? 9 negative 100.
Wouldn't his payoff for poisoning both be like slightly less because you have to use like 2 things of poison? And
oh.
poison's expensive.
I guess it's true. Okay, we'll do that in a second. If poison's, okay, right now we'll say poison's really cheap, so. Okay, so it's pretty, exactly. Well, let's do yours in a second, okay? All right, does it make sense? Yes?
What if Wesley poisoning, Vizzini's cup? Sorry, Wesley poisoning Wesley's cup be, a -9 if Vizzini chooses his cup, because if you lose him, because he's not getting the goal back.
Oh, let's see. You're saying this should be -9?
No, the next one.
No, the
zero.
The zero should be minus.
Anytime that he loses the game.
Anytime that because he doesn't win.
Oh, okay, that's
he
fine.
actually loses.
So I'll make these zeros like minus something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that, that's fine. What do you want to make it? -9. Okay, are we okay? Is that right? Okay, so I'm going to copy this thing.
Yeah.
This is my version I had before. I'm just going to replace it with our version. Okay. All right, this is our version. Let's check what will happen in this game. If you're a Wesley, what are you going to do? Obviously poison both. Okay, but can I use my language of dominance? So does poisoning both strongly dominate poisoning only Vizzini's card? Remember the definition?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Weak domination.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about very end of last time, weak domination. The strong domination, remember I took the here. We say that if for a given person, strategy A strongly dominates strategy B, if the person's payoff for strategy A is greater than her payoff for strategy B, regardless of what everyone else does. Okay? So it has to be greater than. So remember in the business dilemma, not bringing present is always better, like greater than, like strictly greater than bringing the present. Right? Okay, I'll have it here. So does Wesley poisoning both strongly dominate just poisoning one? No, because in this case it's a tie, right? Make sense? So it's not like this strongly dominates this. Similarly, does Wesley poisoning both strongly dominate just choosing this one, poisoning only one cup? No, right? In this case it's better, in this case it's a tie. Make sense? Yeah, so we don't have any strong domination here. However, what we do have is weak domination, so to speak. In other words, still for sure, what would you play in this game? Obviously, you would poison both. Why? Because it's better than poisoning one. Sometimes it's better, for example, poisoning both is sometimes better than just poisoning one, but it's always at least as good as. Right? Make sense? So, thanks. So anyway, does that make sense, right? You're never going to lose by doing poisoning both, right? It's always at least as good as, always at least as good as, and sometimes better. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so for Wesley, poisoning both weakly dominates poisoning Vizzini's cup. Poisoning both weakly dominates poisoning Wesley's. So this weakly dominates this, and this also weakly dominates this. We can pass it around. That's what I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to avoid this whole walking up to the front of the thing. So thank you. As long as it comes around, I think. All right. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, so let's do it. This is my definition of strongly domination. We say that for a given person, strategy A strongly dominates strategy B if the person's payoff for strategy A is greater than her payoff for strategy B, regardless of what everyone else does. Did I do the definition of weak domination last time?
Yes.
Yes.
This at the very end? Okay. We say that for a given person, strategy A, so this the yellow part is the part which is different. It weakly dominates strategy B if the person's payoff from strategy A is at least her payoff from strategy B, regardless of what everyone else does, and sometimes greater. Yeah?
Is it acceptable if we just do it after class? Because I think
Sure.
class will be distracting.
Well, when the past we've done this, moving it around, because that way it just saves time. Sorry. But otherwise, there's a big clump at the beginning or a big clump. Anyway, okay, does this make sense? So in other words, one sort of strong domination means this. This is strong domination. And weak means this. Okay? And sometimes. Strong domination means your payoff must be always greater. Weak domination means that it's always at least as big as, and sometimes greater. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So let's do the example of the poison, let's say the poison is expensive. Let's do that. Okay, so I will do that. Where's my thing? With immunity and expensive poison. Oh, expensive iocane powder. All right, so what would change here?
The 9s would turn into like 8.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. In this game, what do we have? Do we have any strong dominance? No, right? But do we have any weak dominance? No, does this weakly dominate this? No, right? Because it worked before because this is a tie, but now this is actually less than. But now there's a situation where Wesley would actually rather choose this over this. So in this case, do I have any domination at all? No. Okay, let's see. Let's do this example. Do I see any strong domination in this game?
Yes.
Which is?
C over 2.
2 what up?
2C over 2B.
2C over 2B. 3 is better than 0. 5's, so 5's not bigger than 6, right? 3 is bigger than 0, 8's bigger than 2, but this 5 would have to be like a 7 or something. See anything? 1B, 1C? Okay, 4 is better than 1. 5 is at least as good as 5, and 7 is better than 6. Yeah, so is it strong or weak? Weak, yeah, exactly. So 1B is always at least as big as 1C, the payoff, and sometimes greater. Okay, so 4 is better than 1, this is a tie, and 7 is better than 6. So always at least as good off playing 1B versus 1C, and sometimes better. Okay, so therefore, what can I conclude?
That they won't.
Yeah, 1 will never play C. Yeah, B is always at least as good and sometimes better. Yeah? Okay, so therefore, no strategies in terms of are strongly dominated. However, 1B weakly dominates 1C. Okay, is that clear, kind of? I'm going to check. How about say 2A and 2B? Does 2A weakly dominate 2B? So I have 1's bigger than 0. 9's bigger than 2, however, 5 is less than 6, right? So I don't have any dominance between 2A and 2B. All right, so anyway, 1B weakly dominates 1C. Make sense? Here's another example, 3-person example. Okay, let's check. Can you see any domination in this game? First of all, you just sort of take it all in. What are all these numbers doing here? Again, just use the definition. Does A dominate B for person 1? No, why? Because, so for A to dominate B, it must be that this number is bigger than this number is bigger than this, yeah? This number is bigger than this number is bigger than this, right? Is that true? No. Oh, no?
Weekly dominates 2A.
Okay, 2B weekly dominates 2A. You don't get that? Let's see. Let's check. Does it strongly? Oh, hold on. Okay, remember the definition. 2B weakly dominates 2A if the payoff from 2B is always at least as great as the payoff from 2A and sometimes greater. Yeah? Okay, let's check.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, if 1 plays A and 3 plays A, then 2 is comparing what? This 6 with what?
4.
The 4, right? Okay, so 6 is bigger than 4, so B is better than A for person 2, yeah? Okay, how about for down here? If 1 plays B, 3 plays A, 2 is comparing the what? A versus the 3, yes? Okay, so far, yes, B is better than A. B is better than A for person 2. How about here? If 1 plays A, 3 plays B, 1 is better than 0, right? And finally, if 1 plays B and 3 plays B, 4 is tied with 4, yes? So do I have strong domination? No, but do I have weak domination? Okay, yes. In this case, 2B weakly dominates 2A. Now, do you want to check 3 just for the heck of it since it's up here? Okay. Does, for example, 3B strongly or weakly dominate 3A? Okay, I'm going to compare this 6 with what number? That's 0. Does that make sense, right? Because it's a case where 1 plays A, 2 plays A, 3 is choosing between this 0 and this 6. That's what they compare. Yeah? So 6 is compared with 0. So yeah, for 3 playing B, this 6 is better than 0. This 0 is tied with 0, yeah? This 0 is what? Tied to this 0. However, this 0 is actually less than 6. Yeah? Okay, so does 3B weakly or strongly dominate 3A? No. Okay, but we did say, what was it? 2B weakly dominates 2A. Okay? All right, so after we start eliminating strongly dominated strategies, we can realize, like we did the strictly ballroom example, clapping and Doug and all that. Okay? Some of the whole story there is you can eliminate something. First, Doug is definitely going to clap. Given that, then Riku and Yaya will clap. Similarly, we can do this here. We can iteratively eliminate weakly dominated strategies also. Okay, so we first eliminate some strategies, then see if we can eliminate some more, etc. in an iterative process. This method is called the iterative elimination of weakly dominated strategies. So we had the iterative elimination of strongly dominated strategies. Now we're doing the iterative elimination of weakly dominated strategies. Okay, so I think we had this just a second ago. What's the domination you see here? I think it was 1B weakly dominates 1C, right? Because 4 is better than 1, 5 is 5, and 7 is better than 6. So I'm going to eliminate 1C. 1B weakly dominates 1C. Therefore, I'm going to cross it out. Okay. Now in this game, can I eliminate anything? 2B strongly dominates. Hold on. 2C strongly dominates 2B.
1B strongly dominates. No. 2. It's 2.
I don't think I've heard it yet. So yeah.
2C weekly dominates 2.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So 2C weakly dominates 2A, right? Because 3 is better than 1, and they have a 5 tie. Yeah. But in this game, playing C for person 2 is always at least as good as playing A, and sometimes better.
Is it 5 bigger than 1 and 6 bigger than 0 and 5 better than 3, or is that not how this game?
Oh, okay. So you might say, okay, doesn't 1B weak dominate A because 5 is better than 1, 6 is bigger than 0, and 5 is better than 3?
No.
Okay, what I said is true. However, what's the problem with what I just said?
Your wants are not.
Exactly right. Person 1 cares about the red numbers, not the blue numbers.
Oh.
Okay? But by far, so it takes a while to get used to that. By far, that's the most common error people make. And sometimes I even make it. It's just easy to forget whose numbers are whose. So remember, 1 only cares about the red numbers. It's as if, for 1, the blue numbers almost don't even exist. Okay? 1 only compares the red numbers. 1's comparing 4 with the 8. Right? Not the 5 with the 1. Okay. Let's just check. Does 1B dominate A? Well, no, 4 is less than 8, right? Does 1A dominate B? No, because 0 is less than 5. Okay. What do we say again? We had 2C weakly dominating 2A, yes? Right? Because 3 is better than 1, 5 is better than 5. Okay, so in this game, 2C weakly dominates 2A. Therefore, I'm going to get rid of 2A. Now, in this game, can I say something?
This is the one where the 1B dominates 1A,
I
right?
think, yeah. Does anyone see it? See it? I think now, 1B now weakly or strongly dominates 1A? Strongly, right? 5 is better than 0, 7 is better than 2. Okay, so in this game, 1 is never going to play A, right? So I'm just going to cross that 1A out. Okay, 1B strongly dominates 1A. That goes away, and finally, what do we have? Person 2 chooses B, right? Because 6 is better than 5.
So why do we assume it has to go in that order? Why couldn't, oh, never mind.
No.
Never mind.
That's a good point. We'll talk about that. Sometimes the order, so how do we know how to work it out? In this case, we wrote at any given time, there's just always one to eliminate, but sometimes we have more. Yeah.
I, for some reason, thought that person 1 had more than one option. They had one option.
Yeah, exactly. Now, exactly. Yeah. Now, yeah, exactly. In this case, 1's over, so 1 just does it. But the question of whether the order matters is something we'll talk about soon. Okay, anyway. So here 1's playing B, and then finally only person 2 has to choose. 2 is going to choose B over C because 6 is bigger than 5. Now 2B strongly dominates 2C. This is a winner. This is our final prediction in this big game. Our final prediction is what? 1 plays B and 2 plays B goes. Make sense? Okay. Let's do the 3-person. Oh, no, 3-person up there. Where's my 3-person case? Is this it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now we said what's dominated by what? I think 2B weakly dominates 2A. Okay. Oops. Oh. So let's now just do this by hand. Okay. This is what's left. Is there any domination? Does 1A, okay, pretend this doesn't exist. 1A, does 1A dominate 1B?
Yes.
Yeah, right, because these 5s are better than 0, right?
Better than 0.
So I'm going to get this, so now I only have
So for
this, right?
For 3, 2A is better than any other. Because the 6 is better than the 0, the 0, the 6, weakly dominated.
Okay, hold on, you're confusing me. So the first thing is, first is what? The first we got rid of 2A, right? So we got rid of this, and now we say we can get rid of this, yes? And then therefore we only have these 2 left, right? And now what's happening? Can we say anything about that? For person 3? No, it's a tie, right?
But for person 2.
No, that's the first thing we said. First thing we said was person 2 is never going to play A because B dominates A. So once we get rid of this, 2 is now fixed. 2 is just going to play B. Yeah.
Before we eliminated like the second step, if we just eliminated 3B by choosing 3A over 3B because 6 dominates 0. Before we eliminated 1B, I think.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so the first thing we do is eliminate this, yes?
Yes.
Now, so your question, so then I said 1A dominates 1B, yes?
Yeah, but like if
But could you have done this with 3 instead?
Right.
Well, that's a good question. In this game, does, and then so you can see that 6. Does 3A dominate 3B? Yes, it actually does. So you could have done that too.
So then we would be just left with 1A, 2B, 3A.
Okay, rid of them. So we get rid of this first, and then we get rid of this, and then we have this. Yeah? And then what we're going to do?
1A dominates.
Yeah, then we
Oh,
you can do it another way too.
so are both answers right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll talk about this order thing. So yeah.
So we don't have to do it by what's strongly dominant first and then.
Oh, we'll talk about exactly this. So, okay, it turns out the order can matter sometimes. So there's an element of arbitrariness. Yeah.
The only choice would be 1A, 2B, 3A.
That would be one way to make a prediction like that. Okay. So we first eliminate 2A, then we'd eliminate 3B, and then we'd say it's 4. Right? That's what we said. But we could do it in another order too. Anyway, we'll talk about 6 with these. Okay. All right, we did this. This is what we did. Iterative elimination of strongly and weakly dominated strategies is a good way to make a prediction in a game. That's a nice way. Sometimes it works great. Any possible drawbacks?
What we just showed.
You know, kind of what we just did, exactly. Okay, so for iterative elimination of weakly dominated strategies, sometimes the order of elimination matters. There's an element of arbitrariness. So that's kind of an issue when you do elimination of weakly dominated strategies. That sometimes you think, am I doing this the right way? And if I did another way, could I have gotten a different answer? And the answer to that question is yes. Sometimes there will be arbitrariness when you eliminate.
Is that exclusively on weakly dominated?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so this is an issue just for weak domination, not for strong. So let me illustrate it, and then I'll explain why it doesn't work this way. Okay, so iterative elimination of strongly dominated strategies is perfectly okay. The order of elimination does not matter when there is no arbitrariness. So if you get rid of something which is strongly dominated, that's always safe in some sense. Okay? That's never going to come back to you. It's just you can always eliminate that in impunity. But the weak domination is sometimes like, there's a little bit of arbitrariness. So let me give you this example. Here, 1 has 3 strategies, A, B, and C. 2 has 2 strategies, A and B. Do I see any domination here?
The 4.
Yeah, 1A strongly dominates 1B and 1C, right? So, okay, so 1A strongly dominates 1B and 1C, but let's go with this. Let's say that I'm going to let 1A strongly dominate 1B. Okay, I'm just sort of get rid of this first. Okay, so I'm not going to get rid of both, I'm just getting rid of 1B. It's okay to get rid of 1B, right? Okay, 1's never going to play B. Now in this game, can I say anything about person 2? 2A weakly dominates 2B, right? Because there's a tie up here, and 2's better than 0. Okay? So now I'm going to eliminate what? 2B, right? So now 2A weakly dominates 2B. Get rid of that. Now, what can I say about 1? 1A dominates 1C. Do that. So this is what I have. Okay? So this is my prediction. 1 will play A and 2 will play A. Now let's do it another way. Let's say that 1A, I'm going to say, well, 1A also dominates 1C. Yeah? Okay. Now in this case, what else can I say about 2? 2B weakly dominates 2A. Okay. Now what can I say? 1A strongly dominates 1B. I have this. So it's a different prediction. You see, there is an arbitrariness. You see how that works, kind of? Yeah. And some people say, well, obviously what you should do right at the start is what? Eliminate both, right? Person 1's clearly going to play A and get 8 for sure, as opposed to get 4. Okay. I'm just going to get both. Now, can I say, what can I say?
Doesn't matter.
Nothing, right? It could be either A or B. It's a tie. Does that make sense? So in this example, you can see that depending on which order you went through it, okay, you might get a different answer. And this will come up in your homework too. So you'll be asked to do an elimination of strategies, strong strategies. And it's possible that if you do a different order than your friend, you might get a different answer. So some people find this an issue. Yes?
Is it necessarily incorrect if you do it a different
No,
way?
it's not. Yeah.
Is it incorrect if you eliminate weakly dominated ones before strongly dominated ones and come up with a?
No, it's fine. Yeah. So again, the lesson is that anytime you can eliminate strongly dominated things at any point in the order. So strong domination is always, you don't can always forget about them and do them later or do them early or whatever. But the weak domination has this arbitrariness. All right, so going back, so why is this a problem with weak domination but not strong domination? Okay, so strong domination, the order does not matter. Let's just spend 30 seconds on why that is. Anybody kind of tell me why? So, yeah.
Well, for strong domination, like, it doesn't matter what the other person does, so you're like, it's always set in stone. But then for weak domination, like, you have the same dominance, like, it does matter what the other person chooses.
Yeah, exactly. So the way this example worked was, okay, if I got rid of this, then I was able to get 2B to weakly dominate 2A, right? But if I got rid of this, then I was able to get 2A to weakly dominate 2B, right? But if I required strong domination, would that error kind of switching happen? No, right? Because for strong domination, this could be a tie, right? This would have to be like a 5.1 or something like that, right? See what I'm saying? And if this were like a 5.1, then it would never switch depending on what I did here. Yeah, that just makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's kind of the short answer of why strong domination is never an issue. The order is never an issue in strong domination. Okay, any questions about that? So you'll see it in your homework and you'll have some chances to work it. Okay, yeah, so when you use iterative elimination of weakly dominated strategies, just be aware that some arbitrariness is possible. So any other problems with iterative elimination or strongly or weakly dominated strategies? So we have a method of making a prediction. Strong domination is very good. Weak domination is also very good, but you have this little bit of arbitrariness, so it's kind of like, just be careful. Are there additional problems with this way of making a prediction? Anybody? Yeah.
Sometimes no strategies are dominated.
Yeah, exactly. So how do I know this is even going to work? So like all the examples I gave you work great. Okay, but maybe it might not even work. So for example, let's do our little chicken I once saw Kevin Bacon in a restaurant. Somebody had to point out to me, that's Kevin Bacon. Okay, this is my chicken race thing. If you both swerve, you get 0. If I swerve and you don't, then I'm embarrassed and you win. If I don't swerve and you swerve, then I win and you're embarrassed. If we both don't swerve, it's terrible. Okay. All right. Is there any domination in this game? Is Ren swerving always better than Ren not swerving? Okay, so let's check. Well, no, 0 is less than 10. Yeah? How about is always swerving better than not swerving? Sorry, is always going straight always better than swerving?
No.
10 is better than 0, however, minus 100 is worse than minus 10. Okay, so is there anything which is dominated? No, right? Swerving does not dominate not swerving, and not swerving doesn't dominate swerving.
Are all the problems in the homework gonna be ones that work, or like something you have to figure out?
You'll find. So there'll be a mix. Yeah. Sometimes it works. Anyway, no strategies are strongly dominated. Okay. So now what do we do?
This is prisoner's dilemma.
No, is this a prisoner's dilemma?
What is this one?
Let's think about it. Okay, so it's a prisoner's dilemma in the sense that there's a kind of a cooperative outcome and a non-cooperative outcome. However, is it a prisoner's dilemma?
Is the law is-
No, remember the thing with the prisoner's dilemma was your worst possible thing is if you cooperate and the other person doesn't. But in chicken, which is, this is chicken, the worst possible thing is what? If you both go straight. Okay, so this is not. Oh, okay, that's a good question. In the prisoner's dilemma, do we have strongly dominated strategies?
Yes.
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 Right? Bring the present is always dominated by not bringing the present. Right? Okay? So that's another difference. So now we're actually sophisticated game theorists. One of the differences between chicken and the prisoner's dilemma is that in the prisoner's dilemma we have a strategy which is dominated. However, in chicken, there are no dominated strategies. Okay? Can we go back, show the prisoner's dilemma again? Okay. Anyway, here we are. So what do we do? Nothing strongly dominated. What do we do? Just give up. So you call it a day and say, no, I mean, okay. Okay. Say, we just don't know what's going to happen. Okay? So that's always an option. However, then we think, oh, let's try to make, we're social scientists, you want to make a prediction? Let's make a prediction. Okay? How would you make a prediction in this game? What would a prediction look like? Yes?
Would you end up with they both swerve?
Okay, let's think about it. Okay, let's think about it. Let's predict, just sort of hypothetically, that both would swerve. Let's just see what happens if we predict that. Okay? Yeah.
I've heard that the way to win at this game is to convince the other person that you don't have the capability of
Well,
swerving.
oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you tear out your steering wheel and throw it away.
Well, that's kind of what happened, right? He had his foot attached to the pedal, right? So the key thing, though, is he should have shown him, like, take a little text phone and say, hey, I'm attached to the pedal. Right? Not only do you have to be attached to the pedal, you have to show that person that that's the case. Yeah, there's this whole story about throwing your steering wheel out there or something. Anyway, yeah, so we can actually do that next. We'll do that at some point later in the class. Okay, let's just predict. Okay, then we think about it. That would be another move in the game. Throw out your steering wheel. That would be so that strategy is not. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's just look at this prediction. If they both swerve, do you think that's a reasonable prediction in this game? Okay, so they're both going down their tractors. The music's important. All right, so they're both going down. I'm the game theorist and say, hey, I'll make a prediction. You both are going to swerve. Is that going to happen?
No.
Why won't it happen?
One don't one way.
Huh?
If one don't swerve one way.
Yeah.
You told them that they're both going to swerve. Since you told them that they're both going to swerve, it influences their opinion because then they think that the other person is going to swerve.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Any other thoughts?
I think given the overwhelming loss if both don't swerve. I think that factors into your decision.
Well-
I'm more inclined to think the whole swerve.
We're just gonna, again, right now, we're just thinking about what would happen if they both swerve. I'm gonna make that prediction, they both get their little cell phone saying, hey, Ren's gonna swerve. Am I gonna if I know that Ren's gonna swerve, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna swerve, I'm gonna go straight and get that 10, yeah? Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so, if we made this prediction, would it hold true?
No.
No. Right, does that make sense? Yeah.
But was it just an irrational decision that you can attribute to this, or can it be rationally decided?
Okay, so, yeah, okay, we could say if we actually do both swerve, we could say that's irrationality or something. But we're just gonna stick with, for now, we're gonna just stick with our standard rationality type assumptions and just sort of see, in other words, i.e. people just care about their, making a maximum higher payout. So another way to think about it is, if they both swerve, Ren will likely go straight and get 10. Good.
So we're saying the only reason this often happens is because we predicted it and they know we predicted it?
Yeah, so in other words,
How do they even know?
how do they know? That's a good question, hold on a second. Yeah.
So we're not predicting what they'll do, we're just choosing what would be their best option, right? So
Okay.
it's like-
Well, okay, so again, there is no best option in some sense, right?
Right, but I mean, like, generally in game theory,
Right.
we don't actually like make a prediction for what they're doing, we're just saying what their best option would be had they like run out the model themselves.
Well, okay, this is the idea. Okay, so the one question is like, how do they know, we're making this prediction, how do they know that we made this prediction? Okay, yeah,
I've seen in other classes where political theorists made predictions in the future, and then when those things didn't happen, came back and said, well, that's because I said it was gonna happen, and you guys made the necessary changes to
that's
prevent
possible
it."
too. But that's kind of what we're talking about. It's more like, exactly, the prediction has to be consistent with itself. So, in other words, Ren and Chuck, how do they get this message from the game theory? So, well, they didn't. But the idea is that they're at least as smart as we are, right? It's not like, so they can do these calculations themselves, okay? So Ren's got to think, oh, I'd rather get that 10, but what's the person going to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They see the games just as well as you are. So we can't kind of, the prediction has to be consistent with their behavior as much as it is consistent with what we're telling them to do. That's kind of the idea. Okay? So anyway, there is an argument on why they wouldn't both swerve, right? Because if that was what they both expected, what would actually happen? If I expect that Ren will swerve, what am I going to do? Go straight. Okay, so that's, in some sense, it's not consistent with itself. Okay? Let's check this one. If Ren swerves and Chuck doesn't, let's make that prediction, see if it makes sense. Okay? If Ren swerves and Chuck doesn't, so Ren gets a little text message saying, hey, Chuck is not going to swerve. Okay? Chuck gets a message saying, hey, Ren's going to swerve. Okay, so Ren's through here, we predict Ren's going to swerve and Chuck doesn't. Okay. If you're Ren, what are you going to do? You have this message saying Chuck is not going to swerve, so what are you going to do? You're going to definitely swerve, right?
Yeah.
You're getting this -10, you think, geez, I wish I was the big man on campus instead of I'm a lonely person who dances by myself in bars. But if I don't swerve, I'll get on my side with it. Okay. How about Chuck? If this prediction is the prediction we make, is Chuck going to deviate from it? No, Chuck is happy, right? Chuck's getting the 10. Chuck doesn't want to get the 0. Right? So Chuck is being told, oh, the guy's going to swerve, so Chuck is okay, well, that's right. Okay, so does this prediction make sense in that regard? Is it consistent with itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, that's the kind of thing we're getting at. How about here? Is this,
It's gonna be the same in reverse.
yeah, it's kind of just the flip side of this. Right now, Ren is the wins. Ren's getting the 10. Chuck swerves. If we make this prediction, does anybody want to deviate from it? No. Right. Okay.
Would the person who makes that prediction even enter the game? If you're seeing yourself as being on the losing end at the end,
Right.
why would you enter the game?
Well, because entering the game would be another strategy, right? That would be another choice you have to make. So we're assuming that these are the only choices. You could put that in. Okay? Like entering the game would be like the third strategy. Okay, finally, let's look at this one. If they both don't swerve, is this prediction going to
They'll
hold?
never make that. They never
If they both go straight. If you both tell both people, hey, the other person's going to go straight, yeah, this is not gonna hold, right? If that person goes straight, you're gonna sort, yeah.
Can we eliminate that one because it's like such higher stakes, or it's like more drastic than the other payoffs?
Yeah, okay, so I guess we can eliminate and just say, well, people are just gonna avoid this negative 100, okay? But we're gonna try to think about it in terms of, again, maximize, you can think of it as a simple model. A simple model, you just choose a number which is highest, right?
But can you look at it like, opposite way, like, don't choose the number that's lowest?
If you just avoid choosing the number which is lowest, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was other theories which are like that. So there's things like avoidance of regret, avoidance of just really bad stuff. So we could go along those lines. Right now we're just trying to go along kind of the path which is most consistent with their models so far, I guess. Does that make sense?
But isn't it kind of the same thing, like choosing what's best and not choosing what's worst?
Well, okay, not quite, because, okay, I guess you could, but how should I say this? The fact that these are minus, for example, if this were a minus 20, this, in other words, since this is minus 20, minus 20, okay, would this be okay? Would this be under my little discussion?
Yeah, I guess.
Hold on, no?
No, like, it makes sense what you're saying, I'm just thinking of it differently because like the numbers are so much bigger.
Yeah, exactly right. No, so don't get thrown off by the huge number of some of these numbers in some sense. Okay, but going back. Okay, so if this is minus 20, this is minus 20, this still would not be a good prediction. My argument still is true, correct? What if this were 5 minus 20? In other words, say that Ren has a death wish or something like that.
Yeah.
Ren loves it.
Friends or not?
I don't know. So let's say it's 5 minus 20.
That's a
Is
different
this,
game.
it is a different game. However, is this going to make sense as a prediction? Okay, 5 minus 20. It's not, now it's not terrible for everyone. Ren actually would like, well, maybe not a death wish. Ren actually just enjoys exploring or something. So 5 minus 20. When I was in college, there was a group of people who would go to the desert and just blow up things. That was one of the things they did. They probably would not be, they would be contacted by Homeland Security today, but back in the 80s, you could do that. Okay, 5 minus 20. All right. 5 minus 20. Okay. Would this be okay with the 5 minus 20? Would it still be reasonable as a prediction?
I mean, it would,
Yeah.
okay, so if we have 5 minus 20, then Ren doesn't, strongly dominates, Ren does swerve, and then we have Chuck choosing, well, yeah, we have Chuck choosing between those, I guess.
Mhm.
Although, yeah,
All right. If Ren is 5, then this dominates this, right?
yeah,
So Ren's definitely going to swerve. Sorry, Ren's definitely going to go straight, right?
right.
Yeah.
Chocolate swerve.
Huh?
Chocolate swerve.
Yeah.
Still.
So exactly. So 5 minus 20. It's not like universally bad for everybody, but it's still not going to happen because who's going to change? Chuck's definitely going to swerve. Chuck's going to get this one. You know, so the fact that this is both minus 100 is not what's making this not consistent. It's the fact that somebody wants to deviate from it. Okay, let's say that.
In the movie, where, which one of them got his shoelaces caught?
Ren.
All right, so say Chuck would make the prediction that Ren's gonna swerve,
Mhm.
so Chuck's not gonna swerve because he doesn't know that Ren's got his shoe
Right.
caught. Then we're gonna go to 100 and 100. Because
Oh,
this
okay.
guy's saying that guy's gonna
Right,
swerve.
right, right. It's kind of like what you're saying, like,
That's
exactly, it's kind of like the comment earlier. It's like, how do they even know that they're on the same page? You know, it's maybe there's just some kind of sort of confusion. Okay? So yes, those criticisms apply to this concept. Okay, so no strategy is strongly dominated, no strategies are weakly dominated. However, we were able to say, in some sense, that this prediction doesn't make sense, this prediction doesn't make sense, but these two kind of do. Okay? All right, so maybe we can make a prediction after all. The way you make a prediction is, you just, instead of deducing what people will play, so in strong domination, you're able to say, well, for example, if this dominates this, then I'm never going to play this. I can make that deduction. That's a strong deduction. I can't make this in this game because there's nothing which is dominated. So I can't deduce what people are going to play. However, I'm just going to skip ahead to the end and just assume something, assume a prediction, and then check if it makes sense. Okay? So I'm not going to deduce, but rather I'm just going to assume the answer and check. So how many possible predictions are there? We actually did all this whole thing. How many possible predictions are there? 4, right? And one is Ren swerves, Chuck swerves. One is Ren swerves, Chuck doesn't. That's this. One is Ren doesn't, and Chuck swerves. And finally, they both go straight. These are the 4 possible predictions. So we're just going to assume each one by one and then check whether it makes sense. And by making sense, I mean if given the prediction, each person wants to play according to the prediction. Okay, that is, if they knew the prediction, if they were as smart as we were, then they would want to play according to it. Okay, so let's check each of these things. So, since my answers. If they both swerve, we end up here. If they both realize that, is that going to happen?
No.
No, right? If Ren swerves and Chuck doesn't, we have this here, the minus 10, 10. If we make that prediction, are people going to play according to that prediction? Yes. How about here? If Ren doesn't and Chuck swerves, we're
Yes.
here. Answer is yes. Finally, like this is mutually assured destruction. If they both go straight, is that going to happen?
Well, that's
All right.
how they play.
Okay, so I'm building up to something. So what I'm going to talk about first what a strategy profile is. A strategy profile is a specification of what each person's strategy is. It's a possible prediction. So I just looked at 4 possible strategy profiles. It's just what we call an outcome. It's a specification of what each person does. So in a 2-person game, a strategy profile is a pair of strategies. In a 3-person game, a strategy profile is a triple of strategies that is 1 plays Gucci, 2 plays Prada, 3 plays Gucci. So in the Footloose example, there are 4 strategy profiles where they both swerve, Ren swerves, Chuck doesn't, etc. Can I go ahead or? Can I go? No? Okay. So strategy profile is just a specification of what each person is. Okay, everything? Okay. All right. A strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium. So this is kind of the take home for today is knowing what a Nash equilibrium is. This is named after John Nash. Not that, I mean, he passed away in a car accident, a taxi accident. He didn't buckle seatbelt in a taxi, and taxi got in an accident. And, he was thrown out of a taxi. It was terrible. So ever since then, whenever I get in a taxi, I put my seatbelt on because I don't want to be like my obituary to be something like he's the second game theorist who died in a taxi because he didn't put his seatbelt on. Anyway, and that's strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium. If no person wants to choose some other strategy, so-called deviate, given what everyone else does. Okay, so a strategy profile is a prediction which, if we make it, no one wants to change from it. Okay, it's a prediction which is consistent with itself. A Nash equilibrium makes sense in that if it is predicted, that everyone wants to follow the prediction, assuming it is true. Okay, so like people objected, there's actually a lot going on here in some sense. Like, so we make a Nash prediction, and we check whether people want to change given that prediction, but we don't specify how they know that's a prediction. Right? We don't specify like how little text messages went out and all that stuff. Okay, but we're just that's actually a relatively complicated question. What we just do is, because we're just skipping ahead, we're going to say, forget about how we get to the prediction, but if we make a prediction, does it make sense? Yeah.
And it's acceptable to have multiple Nash equilibriums within one game?
Sure, absolutely. So like in this case, we had what? Oh, in this case we had 2. Okay. So another way to think about Nash equilibrium is a so-called self-fulfilling prophecy. Somebody talked about it before, right? So it's like, if it's a prophecy I can make, so if I say, hey, I'm inviting everyone to my party tomorrow, everyone's going to come, everyone's going to come, everyone's going to come. Okay, that's a prophecy. I don't know that for sure. However, if people believe it's going to come, believe it's going to happen, will it happen? Yes, right? If you're a concert promoter, that's your whole job, is to create that kind of hype, that kind of prophecy, which, if people believe it, will actually come true. Okay. So in this case, just to reiterate, there are 4 possible strategy profiles. This is where they both swerve. Is that a Nash equilibrium? No. Nope. How about this one? This is where one swerves and Chuck doesn't?
Yes.
Yes, that's a Nash equilibrium. This is where Ren doesn't and Chuck swerves? Yes. This is when they both don't? That's not a Nash. All right. Here there are two Nash equilibria, one in which Ren swerves and Chuck doesn't. That's this one, and one where Ren doesn't and Chuck swerves. Any questions? So we're just going to do tons and tons of examples. Okay?
Do these same rules and laws apply to non-human players?
That's a good question. There actually has been some research about this, like they have birds playing with other birds and stuff. So there are some results. What would you think would happen?
Well, you said, well, humans, other animals, and plants. I'm just wondering what's observed on the planet.
I'll look it up. There are these famous experiments about that, but yeah. So okay, so but that's an interesting question because some people believe that humans are actually quite different from other animals. So obviously other animals do maximize the behavior, right? There are famous examples, you must have heard these things, like they put like an animal in a cage and one lever gives like 2 pellets for every push, and the other one is hit 1. And the rat will just hit the 2 pellet one all the time. Okay, so they know they can distinguish between something which is costly and which is not. Okay? And they know something has a high reward. But some people think that humans are uniquely different because humans are able to put themselves in the minds of other humans. Okay? So some people think that, like for example, even intelligent chimpanzees and stuff are not able to put themselves in the minds of other chimpanzees, okay? Whereas humans can. And so like some of this reasoning we talk about has to do with that kind of mentalizing ability. Okay? Do we talk more about that? I can look it up. So for example, so there's an experiment where they have a human person, and they blindfold the human person, and the chimpanzee will still beg for food from the adult, even if the adult is blindfolded. Okay? Does that make sense? So the idea is because the chimpanzee can't realize that the adult can't see the adult. The chimpanzee can't realize that the human can't see the chimpanzee because the chimpanzee can't put the human's brain in its own brain. Does that make sense? So some people think that only humans are able to do that kind of strategizing. Because in game theory, you have to do that, right? You have to think, oh, I have to think about what other person's going to do before I make my action. So that's kind of, so some people would say that only humans kind of act, even compared to other intelligent animals. Okay. Yeah.
Since animals still have like basic instincts, surely you could argue that they're able to like rationalize certain decisions. And since game theory is like quite rational, and you could argue like instinct based to some extent, wouldn't that also like?
Yeah. I mean, there's situations, again, it's all, you have to experiment with it, but see, actually, I think do I want to go down? How can we see much time? Oh. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, I'll spend 30 seconds talking about this. Okay. Remember this is the example we have. How do I solve this game? I think we said what? The dominance, right? I think what do we have?
1B weak dominant.
Yeah, 1B weakly dominates 1C, right? Then we got rid of this. And then what? 2C weakly dominates 2A, right? And then this dominates this. And then we have this, right? That's how we did it. Yeah? Okay, so you're right that, the first step was, again, I'm spacing out, 1B dominates 1C, right? So an animal would never choose 1B would never choose 1C, right? That's just rationality, right? You'd always choose 1B over 1C because 1B is always listed as 1C, right? Okay, however, we also said, however, that 2 is never going to play A, right? Because C is always listed as A. The point is that, where does that come from? The idea is that for 2 to never play A, 2 has to figure out that 1 would never play C. Right? See, right? If person 2 thought 1 would play C, 2 should play A, right, and get the 9. Yeah? Right, you see what I'm saying? If 2 thought that 1 would play C, 2 would definitely play A. Okay? However, why is 2 not going to play A under our reasoning? Because 2 knows that 1 is not stupid. You see what I'm saying? Right? 2 can say, oh, I would love to play A and get that 9. However, I realize that 1 is never going to play C. Right? Because 1C is dominated by 1B. Yeah? So therefore, one's never gonna play C, so therefore, there's no point for me playing A, I'll always want to play C instead. Make sense? Okay, so that's a little bit more though than what an animal might do. See, that's exactly what I was talking about, right? So, like, for person two to do that reasoning, person two has to realize that one is also rational. Okay, you make that kind of conclusion. Yeah.
How about the willingness to risk? Say there was an opposing 9-1 somewhere on the board that would make a gambler think, well, you know, I might go for broke, but there's a
Right.
possibility I'll hit it hard.
Yeah. Again, that will be a different kind of modeling thing that you could do. Anyway, but going back, does that make sense? The whole animal versus human thing? Well, but that's how it kind of comes out. Okay, I'm just going to share it. Any questions about this thing? Okay, all right. Do this. Okay, all right. So we're talking about Nash equilibrium. Okay. In this game, we have two Nash equilibrium. Let's do another example. Did we do this? I'm not sure. We did arms race? Okay, see there's two people. You can either arm or not arm. Okay? And so we just pop the game out there. Oh, that's my little picture of a rock or something. Does anybody know what the CCCP is? Raise your hand if you know what it is. What is it? Yeah, it's the Soviet Union back in the day. You guys probably weren't even alive during any time the Soviet Union existed, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay.
That wasn't the USSR?
Yeah, that's the USSR, right? But it hasn't existed for a while. Since like that. Anyway, I just think it's fun. Anyway, this is the game. If you both arm, it's disastrous. If we both don't arm, it's just neutral. However, if I arm and you don't, that's good for me and not good for you. Okay? Have you seen this game before?
Yes, we just.
And it is chicken, exactly. Okay. I just did in a slightly different order, okay? But this is chicken. All right, so let's just do the same thing. What are the Nash equilibriums? Is this a Nash equilibrium? If I make this prediction, are people going to change from it? Yeah, so is this Nash? No. What's this? Is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yes.
Yeah. If I predict this, does the US want to change? No, the US would get 0 instead of 10, so US is happy. Would the Soviet Union want to change? No, because the Soviet Union, if it changed, we get minus 10 instead of minus 10. So this, the Soviet Union doesn't have to go.
So after you get to like two Nash equilibria, is that where tit for tat comes in, and then it's based
Oh,
on
my.
action?
Okay, you could, the tit for tat refers to a game which is repeated. So like typically it came up, the way it came up was in the repeated prism dilemma. And that's where you actually see something happen and then you respond to it. So nothing so far, this is kind of like gambling. That's another kind of game. We will actually do that kind of thing soon. So, yeah. But so far there's no, in this case there's nothing like I'm going to arm if I saw you arming last time. Right now it's just going straight up. You just make it so just like you're Ren and what's that other guy's name? Kevin David's friend. You just choose. Yeah. All right. This is a Nash equilibrium. Is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yes.
Yes. How about this one?
No.
So the Nash equilibrium is that U.S. will arm. Sorry, the U.S. won't and the Soviet Union arms. Another Nash equilibrium is where the U.S. arms and the Soviet Union doesn't. Is this a great prediction? It's not the greatest, but it's not going to tell us who's going to win, so to speak, right? Okay. However, what we can say is, in an arms race, there will be a hegemon. Okay? That is, somebody will win. Okay? One way to think about that is, if no one arms, is that going to be a stable situation? No, because what's going to happen? Somebody's going to want to arm, yeah? What about if they both arm? Is that going to be stable?
No.
No, because somebody's going to have to back down. Yeah.
So, in our current game, like, we say if both arm, would that someone back down be like a provision we have to put in after the fact? And it would be a new game who backs down once both are armed?
That's a good question too. Okay, so say we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're simply, okay. The reason this is not a Nash equilibrium is because, say the US wants to change. If we make this prediction, somebody wants to change from it. Now you might say, well, if he changes, now aren't we starting a new kind of game or something, right? And the short answer to that question is, we could model that too. kind of along the lines you're talking about. Say that I make a deviation, you actually see it and then change. But these deviations are not they're not actually taking place. They're sort of notional, okay? So the idea is, this would not actually exist because if we predicted it, somebody would move away from it, the end. That's all we're saying. We're not modeling that process by which people actually change. Okay, anyway, so in this case, in those conclusions, we don't know who the hegemon will be. We don't know whether the US will end up with this national equilibrium where the US is kind of winning, or we'll end up with this or where the Soviet Union wins. However, we will have a hegemon. That's the idea. There will not be a power vacuum. At the same time, there won't be like a fight. Yeah?
So I'm kind of confused on how we pick our final answer. If ultimately both arming, someone will have to back down. So wouldn't both parties then just bank on the fact that the other person's gonna back down?
Yeah.
So let's decide to arm regardless and just try and outbid them basically?
Yeah, so this is kind of like what I was talking about before. Like from the situation, say we're both arming, you know what I'm saying? So somebody will back down, but if the other person backs down, they're going to arm. Then we'll have this whole long process. So what we're trying to avoid is exactly that kind of thing because it's complicated. What we're simply saying is we're going to just try to find those places from which that thing doesn't happen. Okay? If you're just happy at a place where that little chain of events does not occur, then that thing, no matter, we don't know how we got there, but if we're there, we're going to stay at there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we're here, so you're right, if we're here, somebody might not arm, and then they said, oh, since you didn't arm, I'm going to look. But at least if you stay from here, then there won't be any deviations from it, right? Here, the US is arming, Soviet doesn't. The US obviously doesn't want to change, it's on top. The Soviet Union would love to change, but if it changes, it gets a -10, right? Okay, so you might say, well, okay, the Soviet Union will go over here and insist upon it, and therefore the US will move away.
Yeah.
That's a little more complicated, yeah. But we're just sort of looking at places from which that first move will never occur. Do you have a question?
Yeah, so you're saying if both arms, someone will back down, but that's not what happened. Like if the catch starts flying in your weapon.
Oh, okay. I guess that's right. However, okay, so
So
it's more complicated.
does that negative number, does it just kept going down over time?
This negative thing?
Yeah.
I guess.
Is it like minus?
No, I mean, actually, historically, someone did back down. Oh, that's a good question. What actually happened in the Cold War? The Soviet Union actually did back down. They ran out of money. It's exactly this kind of thing.
They still have to use.
They had to use this stupid. They back. Okay, anyway, this is a long story. I don't want to go into this. I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. Okay, let me just get some more examples on here. Let's just go here. Yeah.
We didn't know they ran out of money and we kept paying, so I'm
Okay,
saying
okay.
that's like chess.
Well, I don't want to. We'll talk about that more soon. I'll look it up. Let's look at giving presents. We know this example. This is a Princess Dilemma. What are the Nash equilibria? Let's just do it quick. Is this a Nash equilibrium? From here, does anybody want to change?
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm here, I'm not bringing a present. You're not bringing a present. Do I want to bring a present? No, right? I get a -1. Why would I want to bring a present? Okay. If you change, what are you going to get? A -1, right? So does anybody want to change?
No.
No. Is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How about here? This is where I'm giving a present and you're not. Who wants to change?
I want to.
Arnold, right? Beatrice is happy, but Arnold would rather her not be. So is this a Nash equilibrium?
No.
No. How about this?
Beatrice.
Beatrice would want to change to get to 0. Right? Is this a Nash equilibrium? No. How about this?
Yeah.
Is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yeah.
No, because Arnold.
No, exactly. The person would want to get the 4, right? Arnold would want to deviate. Yeah? So how many Nash equilibria are there in this game? Just one. Okay. The only Nash equilibrium is where they both don't bring presents. Is this the same prediction we made from dominated strategies?
Yes.
Yes. It is. It's the same prediction we made from eliminating strongly dominated strategies. Okay, this is my Rico and Yaya one. Let's check. Is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yes.
Yeah. If Doug deviates, he would get a 5 instead of 10. He doesn't want to. Does Rico and Yaya deviated? They get a 5 instead of 10. No one wants to deviate. This is a Nash equilibrium. How about this?
No.
Who would want to deviate from this?
Rico and Yaya.
Yeah, Rico and Yaya would want to deviate, get a 0. Or for that matter, Doug would want to get the 10. This is not stable. How about here? Does Doug want to deviate?
Yes, he wants to.
No, Doug would get a 0 instead of 5. However, Rico and Yaya would want to join in, right? Is this a Nash equilibrium?
No.
No. How about this?
No.
In this case, how many Nash equilibria are there?
One.
Just one. Is it the same as what we got before from our previous prediction of iteratively eliminating dominating strategies?
Yes.
Yes. The Nash equilibriums, they both clap. Same prediction we got from before. I'm sorry, it's kind of hot in here, isn't it? Kind of crazily hot, I don't know why. How do I find all pure strategy and Nash equilibria of a game? Well, you check each strategy profile. If some person can gain by deviating, given what everyone else does, then the strategy profile is not a Nash equilibrium. Remember, the definition of Nash equilibrium is a situation from which no one can gain by deviating. No, I just said that. Okay, so that's how you find. You can go through each little one and just check whether somebody gains by deviating.
Just so, because I don't want to think through it myself. If we had one of those situations with some strong and some weak dominations, where we had those multiple possible solutions, are those with multiple Nash equilibria?
The answer is yes and no. It's possible, but you never know. Okay, so in this case, we're able to get it all down to this by iterative elimination, right? So in this case, yeah. So we'll actually talk about this in a second. It's actually possible when you eliminate weakly dominated strategies, you might actually eliminate Nash equilibria. So that's kind of a good point. Okay. So this is how you can find all pure strategy Nash equilibria. You just simply go to each possible strategy profile and check whether somebody can gain by deviating. Okay, so for example, let's do this. Is this a Nash equilibrium here? 1A, 2A. Can somebody gain by deviating?
Oh, it's
2, right? 1 by deviating would get worse than 8, i.e. 4 and 1. But if 2 deviated, 2 would get the 3. So 2's not going to want to stay here, yeah? This is not a Nash equilibrium. How about this?
again,
2 or 1, whatever, right? 1 would want to get to 8, 2 would want to get to 4. They don't want to stay here. How about here?
one doesn't.
1 would want to deviate. 2 doesn't want to, but 1 does. This is not a Nash equilibrium. How about here?
No.
Obviously it's not. How about here?
No.
Who would want to deviate from here? 1 or 2, right? 1 gets the 5 or 2 would want to get the 5. This is not a Nash equilibrium. How about this?
No.
1 doesn't want to deviate, however 2 does, whether either get the 9 or the 8. Yeah? It's not a Nash equilibrium. How about this? No, 1 would want to get the 7. How about here? Yeah, I think we're okay with this one, right? 1's getting the 7. If 1 were to deviate, 1 gets the 2 or the 6, right? So 1 does not want to change. How about 2? Does 2 want to change?
No.
No, if 2 were to deviate, she would get 4 or 0, right? So is this a Nash equilibrium?
Yeah.
Yes. How about this?
No.
Who'd want to deviate?
1.
Oh, 1. For that matter, 2 would want to get them. Okay. So in this case, how many Nash equilibria do we have? Just 1, and it is 1B to C. Okay. Is there a way to find Nash equilibrium without looking at every possible strategy profile? In other words, is there a faster way? What do you think? Huh?
I hope so.
Yes, the answer, I hope so. The answer is yes. Almost always is an easier way, okay? And so the idea is this. So this is a definition. A given strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium if no person wants to choose some other strategy, so-called deviate, given what everyone else does. But it turns out that it's the same way to say this. This is equivalent. A given strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium if each person is playing the best response, given what everyone else does. Okay? So in other words, this is the original definition. Something's a Nash equilibrium if no one can gain by deviating. But if no one can gain by deviating, what that means is each person is doing their best possible thing given what everyone else is doing. Right? So in other words, not having any reason to deviate means you're choosing the best possible thing. Okay? You're best responding to what everyone else is doing. A strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium if each person is playing the best response given what everyone else does. So let's do our arms race example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little thing. So say the Soviet Union arms. What's the U.S.'s best response? So if the Soviet Union arms, the U.S. is choosing between a -10 and a -5. Right? Which is the best response? -5, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little star there. Okay, well, should I make it red? Okay. What if the Soviet Union doesn't arm? Then what's the US's best response? To arm. 10 is better than 0. Okay, so the stars correspond to the US's best response. What if the US is, now I'm going to do the Soviet Union's best response. If the US arms, what is the Soviet Union choosing among? Minus 10 and minus 5, right? Which is the best response? Minus 5. So we're going to put a little plus there. Now if the US doesn't arm, what is the Soviet Union's best response? Arm, get the 10 instead of the 0. Okay. All right, so what do we have? I use my red star to indicate the US's best response, given what the Soviet Union does. I use this little blue cross, which indicates the Soviet Union's best response. Remember, Nash equilibrium is a situation when everyone's best responding to what everyone else is doing. So therefore, the Nash equilibria are simply what? That and that. Okay? If it has both a star and a plus, it's Nash equilibrium. Okay? Very simple. Nash equilibria are the strategic profiles which have both a star and a plus. Okay? This will get. So it's a little faster.
Can we see the 9-unit or the?
Oh, the 3x3? Yeah, I think we'll do that in a second. Do we skip to it, or do you want to? Oh, let's do these. Let's do these ones. Maybe we. Oh, so you just have two. Let's. Oh, here we are. I think this is the one. Let's do this one. Okay, so let's do, and then we'll quit. If 2 does A, what's 1's best response? A, right? We get to 8. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline because some people like that better. Okay, if 2 does B, what's 1's best response? C, because 5 is better than 3 and 0. If 2 does C, what is 1's best response? B. Okay, so that's 1's best response. If 1 does A, what's 2's best response? C, because 3 is better than 0 and 1. Okay, if 1 does B, what's 2's best response? C, 5 is better than 4 and 0. If 1 does C, 2's best response is A, right? Okay. What has both an underline and everything? Let me see. That's the same way. All right. So make sure your homework, during your homework, the boxes are around, and just make sure you put your homework in the right box. Okay. All right. You should be okay for the homework for next week. Just hold it up and make it a time.
So is there a Nash equilibrium for every game?
We'll talk about that too.
Okay, and then when you were talking about, so when there's 2 players in a game, there's 2 pairs of strategies, so that's 4 overall.
All the boxes are.
So that's 4 overall, that's 4 different strategy profiles overall, there's a pair for each player.
No, okay. It's not a pair for each player. It's a strategy for each player. But if there's 2 players, strategy profile is a pair. It's like I do A, you do B. That's the pair.
Right.
If we're like 3 people, I do A, you do B. So she does red.
So I have 2 strategies.
Yeah. No, okay, so nothing here. One has 3 strategies.
Right.
And 2 has 3 strategies. Strategy profile is a pair of B, C, B, C.
So there's 9 strategy
So there's 9
profiles.
strategy profiles.
Oh, so the strategy profiles are just the 2 coordinates, where that's the coordinates.
Exactly right. Exactly. That's exactly what you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so then.
Thank you. Oh, sure. See you later.
So because I mean, when you were saying up there, you know, if there's 2 players in the game and they're going to have 2 pair.
No, I shouldn't have said that if I said it. It's not 2 pairs. Yeah.
So then, what is it? So it's just always how many. The number of strategy profiles is just the number of choices one person has versus the number of choices another person has.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's a 7x9 game, there'll be 63 strategy profiles. I have 7 choices, you have 9, and they have 3, and it's 7 times 9 times 3.
Okay.
That's all.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe I
How do you
understand.
start expressing it when you have like 4 people?
It's just gets more complicated. So that's really why rarely people have like 4% games. Even actually, most when they teach this stuff, they don't really teach you 3% games because it's really complicated to see it. But I like doing this because
Yeah, the 3% is expressible. I'm curious, how do you even express 4? Because you're already making different boxes for 3s.
Yeah.
How do you even express the 4th person?
well, you make another kind of like sheet. Or like you make it like so this is like table. So you take a 3% game,
Yeah.
and you make another one of those.
Oh, you have to replicate everything over again.
Exactly.
So do you know which one 1F is for 450 on Thursday?
1F. Do you know who's the TA for 1F?
James.
Jay?
Yeah. Hi. I just wanted to ask you, like, can you use Nash equilibrium instead of like the strong and weak domination? It's like the better option, easier, quicker.
Well, so we people tend to do that because it is faster and easier.
Okay.
But there's still some issues with it. One is the issue people brought up, to be honest, is it's like in chicken, how do I know whether I'm supposed to be the one on top or you? No, that's a good thing.
Okay. So you can like narrow it down to like 2, but you can't have like the final one sometimes
Sometimes
if
it's
chicken.
like that, right?
Okay.
And sometimes it's like, so the way to think about it is that getting rid of dominating strategies is always sort of safe because the logic is very, very strong. Like, I'm never going to play something that's always bad for me, right? That's
Yeah.
just reasonable, right? The logic for Nash equilibrium is somewhat weaker because it's like saying, it's not trying to make it, something in Nash equilibrium if we were there, no one wants to change from it, right? There's a whole lot of stuff behind if we were there.
Okay.
Right? It makes sense like if we were here, no one wants to change from it.
But you have to get there.
Exactly right.
And like they could cancel that one.
Yeah,
cancel
exactly
that
right.
one.
So you notice in the strong domination, there's no
Yeah, because it's just that's
Exactly
always
right.
what you're gonna choose.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. All right. So like, if I'm like doing homework, should I like do this first, like Nash equilibrium style first?
Everyone's different, I mean, but what people will say is that it's always safe to get rid of strong dominant stuff.
Okay, so do like strong domination stuff first. But if it's like if I'm torn between like weak domination, then go to Nash equilibrium.
Well, so sometimes there can become conflict. Like sometimes you get some Nash equilibrium which actually eliminate from weak domination. Some people really like that.
Oh, so then to do like Nash equilibrium.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the nice thing with Nash equilibrium is it's easy to do, and Nash proved that it always exists, at least in some sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas, so often there's no domination at all.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
I emailed you the other day about
Yeah, sure. Okay, sure.
So where were you at parade? I was reading over your citizens. I saw like fraternities and sororities like nothing football.
Oh,
And
is that for the exam?
yeah.
I don't do anything.
There's nothing we can do. Okay, I saw you like walking in the world. My academic advisor suggests like she can be a prophet for this.
Well, maybe you can have her email. Okay. I'll talk to her.
I'll have her do that.
Yeah.
We could probably run that today though. It didn't look like a party. No one was smiling. It looks like a responsibility.
Just make sure you talk to them. Right? Make sure, because you need to be on the grade sheet, that's important. So it's not like.
I should have my homework today.
Yeah. So just make sure that they know who you are.
Okay, thank you.
No, I didn't like